Minnesota Kicks invaded Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey for a showdown with the Cosmos. Each team had won one game in the NASL second-round playoffs. Now, they would play two 15-minute sudden death periods. In that encounter, the Kicks came within a whisker of ending the series. Alan Willie's header was just deflected by Cosmos goalie Jack Brand, and time expired, with neither team able to score the decisive goal. It boiled down to the NASL tiebreaker, the shootout. Shooter against goalie for 5 seconds, with each team getting 5 opportunities to score. Minnesota winger Chico Hamilton would take the initial shot. When Brand charged the shooter, Hamilton's low, hard shot found the net for a 1-0 Kicks advantage. The Kicks' fortunes rested in the hands of Tino Lettieri. New York sent its best at the young Minnesota goalkeeper, but Lettieri performed like a polished pro. The Cosmos' Brand was not to be upstaged. Repeatedly, Kicks shooters attempted to pad their lead, but experienced only frustration at the hands of the New York goalkeeper. Lettieri had been the man of the hour for the Kicks. The Cosmos clung tenaciously to their league title, and Tino was a figure obstructing their path. 4 Cosmos had shot, and 4 Cosmos had been foiled. New York's final shooter, Brazilian World Cup star Carlos Alberto, was now the final obstacle to a Kicks victory. A save by Tino would terminate the reign of the heavily favored champions. Alberto surprised Lettieri with a new tactic. Rather than a quick, hard shot, he bounced the ball off the turf and lofted a soft chip shot which just eluded the Kicks goalkeeper. Rescued from the precipice of disaster, the Cosmos breathed new life. If Alberto had been the challenge of the game for Lettieri, the ensuing tiebreaker shootout would be the challenge of his young career, for he would have to face the Cosmos superstar, Franz Beckenbauer. The experience of the world's premier player was simply too much for the resolute Lettieri. The Cosmos escaped with their title, tarnished but intact. A Kicks victory would have to be realized on another day. Announcing a great new team, the Minnesota Kicks, and delicious Kicks cereal from General Mills. Hi, soccer fans. I'm Frank Butel, and with me today are Gary Vogel, outstanding defenseman for the Kicks, and a very good friend of his. Gary, what makes soccer so exciting? It's really taking hold all over our country.
Well, Frank, it's a type of sport that people of all sizes can play. It has fast, continuous action, and it's great fun to play.
And Mister, I guess I'll call you Mr. Kicks. What's your part in all this?
Well, Frank, Kicks Cereal believes in the future of soccer, and we're doing a lot of things to help promote it, such as Kicks Cereal Night at a Kicks game. We sponsor local team promotions and other special events.
Say, that sounds really great. Folks, Kicks Cereal and soccer, a really great team. To be successful offensively in soccer, a team must shape its attack around the skills of its forwards. In 1978, Minnesota's front line assumed a new look with the addition of 3 outstanding forwards. They joined the Kick's leading scorers, Alan Willie and Ron Putcher, to form one of the most potent scoring attacks in the league. One of the new forwards was number 15, Chico Hamilton. Chico's forte was his spectacular playmaking abilities, constantly forcing the ball into the goal area to set up scoring opportunities. Hamilton established a team record for assists with 13. Possessing exceptional ball control skills, Chico was a threat to score, but was more content setting up his teammates.
As a winger, my purpose is, of course, to score goals if I can, but more important is to assist in making goals. The way I do that is to take defenders on, get it to the goal line, and cross the ball into the middle. And players like George, Willie, and Filcher there to hopefully put the ball in the net, which they have been this year. It's always nice for me to put the ball into the middle and players like George and Willie to be there to score goals. This makes my job a lot easier then.
Willie Morgan was the other wide winger in the Kicks offense. An 18-year veteran of English professional soccer, Morgan's job was to attack wide and create opportunities for the strikers with pinpoint passing. Willie's coordinated dribbling and lightning quickness baffled opposing defenders and forced goalkeepers out of position, which facilitated Kick's goal. Morgan scored infrequently, but converted those opportunities which materialized. 1978 heralded the arrival of Charlie George, the Kick's premier world-class striker. George's skills as a scorer, playmaker, and game winner were unparalleled. He could beat opponents in such a variety of ways, it was virtually impossible to thwart him. When Charlie George scored, it was usually in a spectacular manner. His play was characterized by unselfishness. He constantly looked for his teammates. George introduced a flair and excitement to the match, and his head-to-head confrontations with opposing defenses continually brought Kicks fans to their feet. Unquestionably, the Kicks' outstanding offensive performer in 1978 was the team's leading scorer, Alan Willie. The addition of Hamilton and Morgan gave Willie the freedom he needed to sneak through unsuspecting defenses. Nicknamed the Artful Dodger, his ability to bolt in on helpless goalkeepers was fast becoming legend around the league. Willie rewrote the scoring records for the Kicks in 1978, setting individual highs for goals scored with 21, most points with 45, most consecutive games scoring a goal with 7, and most game-winning goals with 8. For Alan Willie, this was indeed a record season. For the 3rd consecutive season, Minnesota's burgeoning fan support was manifested at the box office. New records were set for total attendance, with almost 550,000 people attending Kicks games in 1978.
I come to the Kicks game because the game's great. I love the sport. Soccer's terrific.
This is just a different atmosphere. A lot of young people, and I enjoy coming out and tailgating and watching them score. I've had a season ticket for a couple years, and I hope to continue having them.
The reason I come to the Kicks game is the non-stop action.
Soccer is a nice alternative to other major sports, and it's affordable. It's nice.
I really think the Kicks are great. I really like soccer, and I like Ron Fletcher.
This is our 2nd year with Kicks season tickets, and we love it. The Kicks are our thing.
My wife and I brought a pack of Cub Scouts out, and we think it's great entertainment, and the price is right, and it's a good afternoon.
Well, we've got season tickets for the Kicks games, and you can't beat the weather. It's just great out here, and the sport is fantastic.
I like coming to the Kicks game because I like the action.
My friends and I come to every Kicks game there is. It's the best game in the world as far as I'm concerned.
Going to a Kicks game was more than just soccer. It was a happening. With tailgating and special attractions, the Met was the in place. In a continuing effort to spread soccer throughout Minnesota, Kicks players conducted special clinics during the off-season in schools across the state. Special emphasis was given to instruct boys and girls in the fundamentals of the sport. The Kicks' involvement in the community extended beyond the game itself. The organization expanded its efforts to include support of worthwhile charitable efforts, such as the Ronald McDonald House for Cancer Patient Children. For the second year, the Kicks operated Camp Kicks, a camp staffed by Kicks players for children ages 9 to 18. Camp director Jeff Barnett and other Kicks players provided beginning and advanced instruction for soccer stars of the future.
This part of your shoe right here, you want to keep your knee over the top of the ball. Your left foot is pointing in the direction of the target. Here we go. I'll throw you some balls and we'll all get a shot. Good. That was it. That's perfect.
What we're going to do now then is work on a 1 versus 2 situation where a forward is being marked by a defender and a midfielder comes running through from the back.
Okay, go ahead. All right, good. All right, now pass it back to him. Wall pass, all right. Get it back. All right, nice shot. All right, well done.
In a season of changing attacks and new faces, midfield was the one position where the cast remained the same. That for his third year was number 10, Alan West. An injury curtailed his playing time in 1978, but when healthy, West was an offensive threat, whether setting up a goal or scoring himself. Mark Moran, number 8, was one of 2 Americans at midfield. Mark was a defensive midfielder whose job it was to press the opposition. An opportunist, Moran scored his first goal as a professional by deflecting an Ace Netzelengwe shot against the Rochester Lancers. A second American, number 20, Tim Twellman, was switched from forward to midfield this season to capitalize on his aggressive offensive skills. Tim scored his first regular season goal in the Kicks home opener against Dallas. The offensive leader at midfield was Patrick Ace Netzelengwe. Ace seemed to materialize from nowhere to tuck away a score. Netzelengwe's scoring touch added an extra dimension to Minnesota's midfield attack. Ace's trademark was fancy footwork in weaving through the opposition. Against Dallas, he funneled through the entire Tornado defense to score the game-winning goal. Ace excelled in pressure situations. He scored another game winner in overtime against Seattle. Tied with Charlie George for second in team scoring, Ace trumped the opposition with 3 game-winning goals and merited recognition as one of the top offensive midfielders in the league. On defense, the Kicks were a team in transition. Their tight, close marking, aggressive inside defense was complemented by a flexible outside attack, forcing the ball down the field. New to the Kicks defense in 1978 was 14-year veteran Tony Want.
As a defender, obviously my main aim is to stop goals being scored against us. I play a wide defence man, which is fullback, alongside Steve Alan Merrick and Paul Price, who's the other wide defender. We're encouraged as much as possible to get forward. Our sole job isn't defending, to support the wingers and to maybe overlap and get crosses in ourselves and hope to assist in goals. But primarily, as a defender, we have to stop goals, and at times this means last-ditch tackles, 50-50 tackles, and sometimes you may get hurt, but that's part and parcel of the game, and I think defenders accept this. Not so much glory involved in scoring goals, but we love what we do, and that's our trade.
Also at wide defender was Paul Price, who enjoyed the distinction of being the lone defender to score a goal for the Kicks in '78. Price scored twice, and both goals were game winners. Returning at inside defender was number 5, Steve Litt. Size, strength, and powerful legs frequently help Litt beat defenders and set up goals. Steve's play was exciting, and being a defender didn't prevent him from forcing the play inside. The Iron Man and stabilizing influence of the Kicks defense was number 6, Captain Alan Merrick. A second-team NASL All-Star, Merrick was known throughout the league for aggressive, consistent play. He was the mortar which cemented the sturdy Minnesota defense. The Control Data Corporation, a worldwide firm headquartered in Bloomington, Minnesota, is happy and proud to present this Minnesota Kicks documentary. Control Data believes everyone should be proud of the talented, dedicated athletes who participate in the sports programs which make living in this area so enjoyable. Amateur or professional, champions or not, these athletes deserve the gratitude and support of our entire community. In its quest to increase the role of the American soccer player in the NASL, the league extended the mandatory playing rule, requiring teams to have a minimum of 2 North American players in the game at all times. Most prominent in the Kicks development program of North Americans included second-year players Tino Lettieri, forward Greg Villa, and midfielders Tim Twellman and Mark Moran. Rookies on whom the Kicks relied were defenders number 25, Gary Vogel, and their number 1 draft choice, Alex Russell. With soccer being relatively new in the United States, American players found competing at the professional level a challenging experience.
Soccer is predominantly a new sport in the U.S. Unlike baseball, football, and other sports that are played in college, it's harder for those players coming out of college in the soccer profession to make it.
The Kicks have a very strong team, and it's very difficult to come right out of college and expect to go right into the professional level.
It's very important for the American to be in shape, for his chances of playing are somewhat limited, playing with the experienced players we have in the league now.
Playing in front of guys like Alan Merrick, Steve Litt, and Tony Wan, you learn a lot. They give you a lot of help, so you don't have to do too much.
One thing I do to make sure I'm in top shape to do the best job I can, I work hard in practice, and I work with the other midfielders, Ace Nesselingway and Alan West, and try to gain any experience that they're willing to offer me.
Rookies as myself, we have to sit back and wait for our chances. We expect to be in the lineup because of college. We were the stars there, and we come into a league where we become the learners and the others become the teachers.
Last year as a rookie, I thought I could come into the league and dribble the ball around, beat people consistently, and really more or less look like a star. But now, after a year experience, I think I've realized my limitations. I know now when to create space, when to hold on to the ball, when not to hold on to the ball. And I think through my year experience that I am a better player.
In soccer, the final line of defense is the goalkeeper. His sole job is to prevent the opposing team from putting the ball in the net. He is expected to use any means possible to achieve this objective. For the Kicks, the net was minded superbly by number 1, Jeff Barnett, and number 16, Tino Lettieri. Jeff Barnett was a seasoned veteran. He played 14 years of First Division English soccer and handled the bulk of the Kicks goalkeeping since the club came to the Twin Cities in 1976. Barnett utilized a charging, aggressive style, coming out to meet the ball and always oblivious to contact. When Steve Litt was called for tripping Vancouver star Kevin Hector, Barnett faced the ultimate goalkeeper challenge, the penalty kick. With the odds heavily in favor of the shooter, the victorious Barnett emerged unscathed. In his first year with the Kicks in 1977, Tino Lettieri saw minimal duty. But in 1978, he was summoned to share goalkeeper chores with Barnett and performed magnificently. Tino had 7 shutouts, and his goals against average of .63 was tops in the league. But a lack of necessary playing time prevented the recognition of that honor. Against the Washington Diplomats, Lettieri set a team game high of 12 saves. For youthful Tino Lettieri, 1978 was a record season. For the 3rd consecutive year, the Kicks qualified for the league playoffs. Their opponents were the Tulsa Roughnecks. During the season, the Roughnecks defeated Minnesota twice. Thus, the Kicks had a score to settle. Before the game, Commissioner Phil Woosnam presented a trophy to Captain Alan Merrick for winning the Central Division of the National Conference. The Kicks are the only team in NASL history to win 3 consecutive division championships. The tenor of the game was established quickly. Both teams were aggressive and controversy shrouded the contest. The most controvertible play came midway through the second half. Chico Hamilton crossed the ball to Alan Willey, who scored the winning goal. Tulsa protested the ruling vigorously, allowing that the ball had not crossed the goal line. The replay shows that after Willey headed the ball, it was on its downward arc when goalie Bolton reached back into the goal. He batted the ball upward under the crossbar and out of the net. Clearly, it was a goal, and the Kicks avenged earlier losses to Tulsa by taming the Roughnecks 3-1. In the second round, Minnesota would face the defending champion New York Cosmos. They were led by such superstars as league scoring champion Giorgio Canaglia and the world's #1 player Franz Beckenbauer. The Kicks had faced the Cosmos in a mid-season game at the Met. In that game, the Kicks jumped to a quick lead on a goal by number 18 Ron Futcher. When Charlie George converted a penalty kick, the Kicks envisioned an upset. Early in the second half, Steve Litt headed in a goal which would have given the Kicks a 3-1 lead. But it was disallowed, and the Cosmos rallied for a 4-2 win. The sting of that defeat would loom large in the Kicks' minds. It was foremost in the memory of one man who was held scoreless in the first game, Alan Willey. For Willey, there was a score to settle. Knowing they must score first and quickly, the Kicks forced the attack. Tony Want crossed a pass in front where a collision occurred. The ball deflected into the net, and a goal credited to Charlie George. Coming after just 53 seconds, it was the fastest goal in playoff history. On the collision, goalkeeper Errol Yazin suffered a concussion and was replaced by Jack Brand. The Kicks couldn't erase the picture of a jubilant Brand in the midseason game, and they welcomed a second chance to vindicate themselves. Ironically, Brand's initial challenge came not from the Kicks, but his own teammate, Werner Roth, who drilled a clearing pass into the net for an own goal. The Kicks' lead was 2-0. Minnesota pressed the attack, and Alan Willie got the goal which had eluded him earlier. At the half, the Kicks led 3-0. Early in the second half, the Cosmos capitalized on a Kicks clearing mistake, and Canalia pulled New York to within 2 goals. Less than 5 minutes later, the Kicks redeemed that mistake as Ace Nesselenge stole the ball from Werner Roth. Charlie George returned the ball to Ace, who was wide open for the score. It was time for Willie to work his magic again. On a perfect pass from Willie Morgan, Allen tallied his second goal. A searing admonition to the defense by team leader Canalia was of little consolation to the beleaguered Brand. But the avalanche had only begun, and Chico Hamilton continued its force as he set up Willie in front, and the artful Dodger had a hat trick. It then became Willie's turn to do his own thing. When the diving Brand came up empty, Allen scored an incredible fourth goal, putting the Kicks in front 7-1. Brand had one more opportunity to foil the surging Kicks, but Chico Hamilton rendered him helpless, crossing in front to who else? Alan Willie. Willie's fifth goal, a feat never before accomplished in a playoff game, was also the most ever scored against New York. When Kicks fans consider the future, this is the image they will recall. They will conjure fond memories of Minnesota decimating the lordly Cosmos. The Kicks' 9 goals were the most ever scored against the Cosmos and the most ever scored in a playoff game. So complete was Minnesota's 9-2 victory that a record season will be remembered as the year the Kicks conquered the champion.